This video is designed to help you start a rice mill business. At the end of the video, you'll find a valuable gift. It's a rice mill business plan that you can download, and will lay down for you, step by step, everything you need to know to start a successful rice mill business of your own. If you are new to this channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button for more videos like this. Before you start a rice milling business, it is important that you have a good knowledge of the rice milling business. Find any rice mill around you and have a feel of the processes involved in rice milling. Apart from the general business skills that you will need to operate the business, you need to acquire other skills that may be specifically related to rice mill business. You may not get this kind of skills from schools. The best way to acquire the skills is to work directly with somebody who is successful in the rice mill business. You should also find out the costs of starting the business as well as the costs of running the business after launch. Find out what equipment and manpower is required. Find out about the pitfalls and challenges that new entrants into the business you will most likely face. And find out how to avoid the pitfalls and overcome the challenges. Write a business plan. By now, you should have known a lot about rice mill and the things you need to run the business. It's now the stage where you need to put everything into a business plan. Developing a business plan for your rice milling business is very important, as it will guide you through the process of starting the business successfully, and running it effectively afterward. Your business plan will also come in handy when you approach investors or lenders to fund your business. Your business plan will detail your business's goals and objectives, required startup and running costs, projected earnings over the first few years, required staff, your target market and a thorough analysis of that market, the competition, your marketing strategy and unique selling point, and your exit strategy. The rice milling business plan is what will keep you on track when you want to deviate from the business goals. It also is another document that you can use to attract investors. Licenses and permits. In virtually all parts of the world, obtaining licenses and business permits is a requirement for starting any business. However, the required licenses and permits vary between states and countries. So I advise that you visit the appropriate agency in your state or country to inquire about the licenses and permits you will need to obtain before you can start your rice milling business. Better yet, visit the agency's website or contact a seasoned attorney to find out. Find a good location. Choice of location has a big role to play in the success of a rice mill business. Essentially, a rice mill business should be located close to where rice is grown. You need a place that is easily accessible to farmers. They should be able to transport the rice produced to your place without much trouble. You need a large space where the farmers can drop their harvests. Also, you need a storage place where the milled rice can be kept. The layout of the rice mill should allow free movement of people and should be very ventilated. Buy the equipment. Based on the size of your rice mill processing plant, there is the different type of machinery available in the market. You need to choose the right machinery for your rice mill plant. The important factors in selecting the machinery are production rate, efficiency, capacity, and power equipment. Also consider the execution, whether the machine is a single stage or multi-stage. Most of the equipment are durable and stands the test of time. Some of the equipment can be fabricated. The fabricated one will be less expensive compared to the real one. Note that you'll need to be sure that the fabricated machine will do the work it was meant to be, else you'll only waste your money. Installing the equipment. Your rice milling machines have arrived. It's time to start installing it. The services of an expert will be required for the installation to be successful. Most often the company that sells the machines will also have an expert that will do the work for you. You'll only need to ask them. Hire employees and start operations. It's time to hire people who will help in running the business. In the rice milling business, one important factor to consider when hiring people is their experience. Each person you hired can be given a defined role that will ensure the process of rice mill works in an effective way. This will ease the stress going through the process of training before kicking up the work. It's important to hire both technicians and administrators. The technicians are responsible for operating and maintenance of the machines, while the administrators do the paperwork on a daily basis. Marketing. Marketing and promotion are an important part of any business. After all, you need customers to buy your rice. The next part of the video is not specific to a rice mill business. Nevertheless, this knowledge is essential for success in the rice mill business, as well as in any other business. Ignore it at your own peril. Operating a successful rice mill business will depend on the following 4 conventions. 1. A practical plan, with a solid foundation. 2. Dedication, and willingness to sacrifice, to reach your goal. 3. Technical skills. 4. Basic knowledge of management, finance, Record keeping and market analysis. As a new owner, you will need to master these skills and techniques if your business is to be successful. Finding a niche. Small businesses range in size from a manufacturer, with many employees, and millions of dollars in equipment, to the lone window washer, with a bucket and a sponge. Obviously, the knowledge and skills, required for these two extremes, are far apart, but for success they have one thing in common. Each has found a business niche, and is filling it. The most critical problems you will face, in your early planning, will be to find your niche, and determine the feasibility of your idea. Get into the right business at the right time, is very good advice, but following that advice, may be difficult. Many entrepreneurs plunge into a business venture, so blinded by the dream, that they fail to thoroughly evaluate its potential. Is your business idea feasible? Before you invest time, effort, and money, the following exercise will help you separate sound ideas from those bearing a high potential for failure. Identify and briefly describe the business you plan to start. Identify the product or service you plan to sell. Answering yes to any of the following 3 questions means you are on the right track. A negative answer to all of them means the road ahead could be rough. 1. Does your product or service satisfy an unfilled need? 2. Will your product or service serve an existing market in which demand exceeds supply? 3. Will your product or service be competitive based on its quality, selection, price, or location? Market analysis. For a small business to be successful, the owner must know the market. To learn the market, you must analyze it, a process that takes time and effort. You don't have to be a trained statistician to analyze the marketplace, nor does the analysis have to be costly. Analyzing the market is a way to gather facts about potential customers, and to determine the demand for your product or service. The more information you gather, the greater your chances of capturing a segment of the market. Know the market before investing your time and money in any business venture. The following questions will help you collect the information necessary to analyze your market, and determine if your product or service will sell. This brief exercise will give you a good idea of the kind of market planning you need to do. An answer of no to any of the questions indicates a weakness in your plan, so do your research until you can answer each question with a yes. 1. Do you know who your customers will be? 2. Do you understand their needs and desires? 3. Do you know where they live? 4. Will you be offering the kind of products or services that they will buy? 5. Will your prices be competitive in quality and value? 6. Will your promotional program be effective? 7. Do you understand how your business compares with your competitors? 8. Will your business be conveniently located for the people you plan to serve? 9. Will there be adequate parking facilities for the people you plan to serve? Planning your startup. The following questions are grouped according to function. They are designed to help you prepare for opening day. Merchandise. Have you decided what items you will sell or produce, or what services you will provide? Have you made a merchandise plan, based upon estimated sales, to determine the amount of inventory you will need to control purchases? Have you found reliable suppliers, who will assist you in the startup? Have you compared the prices, quality, and credit terms of suppliers? Business records. Are you prepared to maintain complete records of sales, income and expenses, accounts payable, and receivables? Have you determined how to handle payroll records, tax reports, and payments? Do you know what financial reports should be prepared, and how to prepare them? Finances. A large number of small businesses fail each year. There are a number of reasons for these failures, but one of the main reasons is insufficient funds. Too many entrepreneurs try to start and operate a business without sufficient capital, money. To avoid this dilemma, you can review your situation by analyzing the following 3 questions. 1. How much money do you have? 2. How much money will you need to start your business? 3. How much money will you need to stay in business? In order to answer the second question, how much money will you need to start your business? You need to prepare an estimate of all your startup costs. Here is a list of items you may need to take into account. Note that this list is for a retail business. Items will vary for service, construction, manufacturing or online firms. Decorating and remodeling, fixtures and equipment, installing fixtures and equipment, services and supplies, beginning inventory cost, legal, professional fees, licenses and permits, telephone utility deposits, insurance, signs, advertising for opening, Unanticipated expenses. Now, the answer to the third question, how much money will you need to stay in business, must be divided into two parts, immediate costs, and future costs. From the moment the door to your new business opens, a certain amount of income may come in. However, this income should not be projected in your operating expenses. You will need enough money available to cover costs for at least the first 3 months of operation. The following list will help you project your operating expenses on a monthly basis. Typical expenses for 1 month may include your living costs, employee wages, rent, advertising, supplies, utilities, insurance, taxes, maintenance, delivery, transportation, miscellaneous. Now sum up the total estimated monthly expenses and multiply it by 3. This is the amount of cash you will need to cover operating expenses for 3 months. Deposit this amount in a savings account before opening your business. Use it only for those purposes listed in the above list, because this money will ensure that you will be able to continue in business during the crucial early stages. By adding the total startup costs to the total expenses for 3 months, you can learn what the estimated costs will be to start and operate your business for 3 months. By subtracting the totals of the lists from the cash available, you can determine the amount of additional financing you may need, if any. Now you will need to estimate your operating expenses for the first year after startup. The first step in determining your annual expenses is to estimate your sales volume, month by month. Next, determine the cost of sales. You may want to use a spreadsheet to do this. After startup, the primary source of revenue in your business will be from sales, but your sales will vary from month to month because of seasonal patterns and other factors. It is important to determine if your monthly sales will produce enough income to pay each month's bills. An estimated cash flow projection will show if the monthly cash balance is going to be subject to such factors as the following: failure to recognize seasonal trends, excessive cash taken from the business for living expenses, too rapid expansion, and slow collection of accounts if credit is extended to customers. Conclusion: if you have carefully answered all the questions in this video, you have seriously thought about your goal. However, there may be some things you may feel you need to know more about. Owning and running a rice mill business is a continuous learning process. Research your idea, and do as much as you can, yourself, but don't hesitate to seek help from people who can tell you what you need to know. As we conclude this video, it's time you get your free rice mill business plan gift. Go to the description below this video to get it now. It is completely free, no strings attached. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and hit the subscribe button for more videos like this.